Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Advanced Tactics Gold, the play-by-email multiplayer series. And this will be probably the second to last video we'll be doing. Maybe third to last if we do like a conclusion video separate, but talked with my father for a bit, and I guess things are just kind of heading in only one direction, and there's a lot of learning that has been done on both sides, I would say, but having taken his city, I think this might be the spiral towards the end. And I wouldn't mind restarting the series. I mean, I wouldn't mind picking up a new map, doing something like that. I think the competition would be fiercer next time. We'd probably be able to add in some more components. In particular, I think it would be really good if we added in air. So, I mean, that's just the most natural progression from here, is getting some air going. Even if we only stuck with something like interceptors and dive bombers, just keeping things very simple. But anyway, I think that we're getting towards the end of this series because I have taken Solingen, and that's going to be a huge production loss for him. On top of that, the reason why I've taken it, and I'm pushing him in the south, I'm holding him back in the north, I just have overwhelming superiority of forces. Overwhelming might be a bit of an exaggeration, but just taking a look at the kills in the top category. Oh yeah, so certainly I have killed more light tanks than him. If we take the armored cars divided by 2, so we have 10 tanks worth of armor here, and 4 and 21 is 25, so 35 tanks total to his 13 plus 39, so 52. Yeah, so I'm way ahead on tanks to start with. 15 tanks ahead, really. He's lost 15 more than I have, so supposedly I should have 15 more tanks in play than he does. Now, when the map gets this congested, it's not as easy to do stuff with those tanks. And I have a lot to learn about correct tank placement. I mean, I'm probably... this game makes it very difficult sometimes to actually do a Schwerpunkt, that because of the stacking limit, you can really run into a problem. So you can't really bring too much force superiority onto a hex without suffering penalties. Now, I don't really know what the penalties exactly are for overstacking, for attacking with it'll say your attack stack value is 150, but what is the penalty for attacking with 300, I don't know, because I would be willing to sacrifice losses. Obviously, if you're doing Schwerpunkt, if you need to break through a little point, you're willing to suffer. Usually you break through with infantry, really. You put a force superiority of infantry and the tanks just exploit the hole. But even if I had to use tanks just to create the hole in the line to begin with, I'd be willing to throw extra tanks at the matter. But what I've seen is it's a pretty large diminishing returns from committing an overstacked mount. And maybe I should even go ahead and go to the forums and ask, because this game does very heavily favor defense. There's no two ways about it. Defending on this game is just very effective. It's much better to defend. And that's, to a degree, that's true in real life, right? I mean, it's easier in general to entrench yourself than to charge in the open. Just the cover you have or don't have in both of those situations makes it so attacking is a more dangerous thing. But that's much more in World War I, was much more important in World War I. In World War II, I would say it probably wasn't as extreme as this game makes it. And maybe it's just the way we play, that when you fill up the whole front, if the front was more spread out and you had less units, it might make more sense, because then you won't be reaching attack stack limits as often. But that just to me means that maybe the way I play, I should mod the game somehow to make the attack stack twice as high. Okay, but that's enough early talk. What we're going to do is keep playing. I have to say that I'm not as dedicated to thinking about all the plans I want to make before, now that I kind of know things are going. I think that was true of last episode even. So the quality of my tactics is decreasing. This I think we can say for sure. That's going to take AP cost of 30 to do that. But it would only take 20. No, it's impossible. We can't possibly get... I do need to do this because if I'm able to reoccupy, or not reoccupy, but if I'm able to just conquer to occupy these two areas, I will have my other unit back in supply here. Excuse me. Okay, so what I want to do is this, and probably this. I'm going to do an attack here. That's what I'm gearing up for. And I think I'm going to need at least one really strong unit here. Let's see how that unit does. Depending on how they do depends on what I'm going to do with my other artillery. Wow, that was very ineffective. I think we're going to have to do something else. So I want to move this unit forward. And I will be attacking with them, but the kind of cool thing is that they're split up right now. The 2 artillery, 2 horses haven't combined into the artillery yet. So actually, we can get an exact count here. I mean, what I mean is I can get exactly 10 artillery bombardment going on there. So let's move. This guy's going to move in here for sure. And let me bombard with, which one has better? 57, 55. 4755. Okay, so it's this one. And we'll do an attack here as well. Still not doing much, are we? Okay, well, let's bring that to the max then, just by doing one more bombardment. Not this guy, though. Whoops, I eliminated the wrong one. I do want that guy. Okay, so this will take us right up to the max, and this should be pretty effective. Hopefully more effective than the previous 2. Well, at least we got it down to like the 30 range. I usually feel more comfortable in that range. And we will have pretty massive superiority, armed superiority. So let's just take a look at that. If we do all, we're at 176. We can probably bring another unit in. I think we'll bring in the infantry. And let's try that. Oh yeah, so this is good where, again, I don't know what this attack stack means precisely. I know that you start to suffer greater losses when it's over 200, and I remember reading somewhere once upon a time that once you're over the attack stack, or I'm sorry, if you attack with more than this, but during the fight you lose enough so you're below it, that penalty ceases to apply. That's my understanding, but I'm not, it's a little murky. Okay, so let's go and attack. I'm going to do this attack, so because we got the 4 sides, we were able to weaken their units, and this will help put me back into supply. So let's hope things go well. Yeah, oh, that went actually much better than I thought it would. We lost about 15, and they lost about 30. So attacking into the force is not easy. It's better than I expected, really. We even have the ability to push in and attack. I will move this guy over here because there's no point in leaving him in open space. And yeah, we will have the opportunity to attack over here even if we want. And we may want to do that. Can these guys reach there? No. Yeah, I knew that because I was already planning to probably try to attack this group here. Yeah, I think that I move this group in here and I attack here. It's tricky because I don't want my armored cars to engage this anti-tank unit. But other than that, this is an extremely weak group. So what I have to hope for is this artillery to knock out this anti-tank gun. Or if that doesn't work, well, let's move our armored cars in, knowing what we want to do. So there's actually 2 anti-tank guns. That makes things a little bit worse, unfortunately. Still, this guy, he's getting the best movement he can. There's no zone of control blocking or anything, so we'll get 5 turns. Let's see if we can hopefully knock out one of these guys. Nope, didn't work. I mean, they're really low. I mean, that makes sense because all of the small infantry groups surrounding this anti-tank unit, it basically is just this anti-tank group that's holding this group up. So it would be nice to somehow get that kill. However, if I attack over here, I can't attack here. Now, this is a pretty solid defense group, actually, with 25 submachine guns dug in. Okay, they aren't dug in. They were moved last turn. The mortars are pretty well dug in. Yeah, it's tough to say if we would have the capability to actually dislodge this hex, which is pretty powerful. And more importantly, I would love to take this hex first, which is going to force this group further to the south, into the open plains, out of the forest. Otherwise, they'll be surrounded by 5 sides next turn. So that would be the optimal way of dealing with the situation, to force them out of the really defendable ground. We can squeak through. There is open plains as long as we can get ahead of their anti-tank retreat, which is not a guarantee. They probably have another anti-tank somewhere back here or something. I don't know. I just don't think there's any armor back here. I'm pretty sure there's not. Well, let's go ahead and do it. I wish I had more artillery to support, but I don't think this guy can even get here. This would take almost all his movement. This would take all his movement. And this would take all but 1 round, which is just kind of not worth it, unfortunately. Yeah. Although this is probably my main focus right now. I think that in terms of an offensive, holding Soligen in this area is fine. I don't even care if they continue to bombard it constantly every turn and make sure I can't get any production out of it. Having it not in their hands is all I need. So I should be able to eventually outproduce the Germans now. And that's the goal. Okay, so I'm going to try a trick here. I'm going to try to attack with... well, if I do all, what happens? That's too high. I kind of need the anti-tank guns not to be able to target me. Is the trick here. So let's do something strange. Let's not attack with my armored cars at first. I will attack with them in a second wave. So this is kind of a weird strategy. The hope is that we can eliminate their anti-tank gun in the initial assault. And we probably won't win this. Okay, so this was kind of effective, actually, even though we took pretty severe casualties. You know, it was 2-1 against, but the most important thing is that we did kill one of their AT guns, which should make this second follow-up attack much better for us, even though we will be overstacked. I mean, maybe we don't even need to attack with this group. It's 7 and 20. No, I want to attack with it still, just to make it so that their anti-tank has a harder time deciding who to target. So hopefully we lost 1, and we killed a bunch. Good. So actually this worked out well. We still lost another... Keep losing those armored cars. We won't ever be replacing them at this point. And there's only forward. Okay, so this is good. Since these guys are good at scouting, we were able to actually identify all the units back here, and there's nothing to worry about. Engineers and jeeps. Just engineers and recon groups. Can this unit? No. I was just thinking, like, it might even be nice to be able to attack them. But technically, engineers don't defend terribly. Their combat stats are pretty good. They're just a little bit easier to kill, but they still pack a punch. So it wouldn't be wise to throw yourselves against them if they were heavily entrenched. I'm guessing that entrenched just adds to their hit points. Okay, and actually we don't want to move any further forward because, as you can see, based on my calculations, that would put us back into supply, and we'll just give him 1 turn to recuperate the supplies that he lost, which weren't much anyway, but it's still worth doing. I'll strategically move these guys forward on the next, or on the off-camera part of this turn, but you guys probably don't need to see that. Okay, now, as far as attacking this group, I do want to try to attack with infantry because we should have a very large infantry advantage. So basically, I want to try to. Oh, whoa! Well, this is fantastic. Yes, we can actually follow up attack that group. Now, I have had some problems with doing this before. Sometimes this doesn't seem to work as well as I hope it will. So you have the ability to attack here. I think you don't attack anywhere except for maybe here. So technically they have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have a total of 7 infantry, and their readiness is 1 and 2 and 26 and 4. Really, really, really low. And I have 25 and 92, so I should just obliterate these guys. Even if we counted these guys as 1 point of combat value each, that's 4 compared to 34, so we're looking at, you know, at least 8 to 1 odds, which should be in my favor because they're in plains, they have no entrenchment. I mean, there's just, everything is working for me. However, I've had attacks like this fail before, so let's see how it goes. Maybe it will go better. Yeah, see, this is weird. I don't understand this. About even, but the thing is, these were really low readiness. And we still lost 6 good units to 6 completely disorganized, well, 7 completely disorganized units. So it really hurt us more than was necessary to do that attack. So I don't know, but we did. Hey, you know what? The good news is we did actually straight up eliminate 2 divisions. I mean the division markers themselves, which is a loss of your political points. So that's good. Maybe I don't regret that, because he'll probably get his readiness back by next turn. I don't think that any of these units will be attacking armored cars. It seems unlikely. And we have still a reasonable defense force here. We can even probably throw in a machine gun group. No. This guy can get there? He can. Okay, good. So now we have a very good defense setup. Plenty of infantries to tank some of the damage, and armored cars to really deal it out. Now, how does anti-tank gun perform against artillery? Meh, they're just fine, normal. And is it the same attack and defense? It is. Okay, so basically AT gun versus AT gun is just an even fight. And that means probably the advantage goes to the defender, but the mechanics I'm not exactly sure of. Okay, well, we've already made good progress in the south. This is kind of what I wanted to do, was to push forward. The moment my armored cars can break out, that's the golden age. My engineers here are going to continuously just build. I mean, they're losing engineering points every turn. If we can just move 2 hexes every turn, this guy can move 2 hexes probably to here next turn. And as soon as we can get that road across, we can supply a big area and we can make a move on Essen, on Castle. I mean, it looks like at this point that they're going to be able to defend Castle very well, because it seems like they're reacting very strongly with forces down here. They're very quickly reinforcing this area. So the idea is I'm just going to try to build up a lot of forces, like give a lot of my current Supreme Headquarters reinforcements to my Southern Headquarters. Oh, I forgot I have this bombard thing. I could have played. We'll save it for next turn. So I'll try to squeeze at least one more full episode out of this next turn. And then I think I'll bring my dad back in so we can actually talk about how the whole series went. But I would agree that maybe it's all over but the crying at this point. Okay, so that's the south. The middle gets a little complicated, so let's go to the north. I think what I'm going to do is target an attack here. So to prepare us for such a thing, let's go ahead and begin with an attack of artillery, which we didn't expect to be very effective, but that certainly was maybe less effective than I thought it would be. Fine, that's fine though. Let's see. Okay. This guy, he can only attack here. I think what I'm going to do is move in this submachine gun group, and he'll assist in the attack. We'll be using some of these guys, and we'll probably move this armor over, so he'll attack from here. And this is going to give us, okay, 260 is a little too much. What if we take this guy off? That's down by 40. And if there's a group of 20, we can dismiss. Probably we just take off one of these. If we take off that guy, we're at 195. That's pretty solid. This is the situation where I'm not sure if it's better to overstack or not. I don't think the anti-tank guns are going to be that effective. They do have 4 standard light tanks, and we're attacking with only 3 armor. Okay, sure. Let's go ahead and bring in the AT guns. It seems, what else are these guns going to be for? So let's just really push this attack strong. Oh wow, that was brutal. That was a total massacre. We only killed one tank in the end, but we caused the other three to retreat. But we didn't lose a single tank ourselves, which is pretty impressive. Pretty impressive, I would say. We even have the ability to follow up. I would rather only follow up to the north where, you know, they're extremely weak. Actually, this group isn't weak at all, so we probably won't end up doing anything like that. Might as well move those guys in, and, you know, hey, we might as well move this guy in too. This guy can't do anything. These guys can all attack up here, right? Okay, so let's do that. Let's move everyone north by a little bit. And let's attack into this forest. I think this should be just a massacre because, again, my tanks leading the way probably don't stand any chance of being destroyed by rifles. So it's a 90. Let's make sure this all makes sense. Because I think this guy can also engage, can he not? He can. He can. What does that put us at? Against, okay, this is probably against, what would it be against 30? What's our reconnaissance here? 140, but it is slightly diminished because they're in forest. Well, let's see here. What I want to do is move this group into here. I think that makes perfect sense. Let's move this guy here, which also makes perfect sense. But except for the fact that, you know, he doesn't have this AT gun, but that's fine. We'll move him there. And all that reconnaissance, okay, he has 21. I think this is legit. He's probably a 30 stack, so let's just attack with everyone. Wow, we actually got mowed down. This infantry group took a lot of losses. In the end, they were only 25. And we killed 13 by losing 13 ourselves. In fact, we got off worse because some of the units we lost were submachine guns. Now, the good news is we should be able to attack next turn, do another follow-up attack, which should, I mean, I'd say it should decimate them because their readiness will be much lower, and although we took some losses, the remaining readiness of our units is actually pretty good. Still pretty good. And there's no way that they're going to be able to do any kind of counter push or anything like that. This push is entirely dead in the north. In fact, I am hoping we can actually break out against this group. It's going to be very difficult to destroy this hex because even though this is weak, these guys are weak, they do have anti-tank here. And how does anti-tank do against infantry? I mean, it's not that great, actually. It's really not that great. So the question is, I was planning to attack here. So they, oh, I didn't even show you guys what happened last turn. Here we are, 25 minutes in, basically. Okay, well, let me show you. It's really not that surprising. I'll try to stop. So he just pulled back in the south and bombarded me, and he pulled back some more. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, this is the significant thing, and that's what reminded me I should go to history. Is they did counterattack my thrust. If you remember, I tried to push in. I tried to attack a defeated group. So they did attack me here, and I did take some losses. It was a good attack from them. And they reinforced with this anti-tank. And it looks like they're moving in reinforcements just all over the place. Whoops. I think this is before when we want. Yeah, so that's that attack. Moving forward. And okay, so yeah, they did attack here, and they were successful, but no, I think that was really successful. Oh yeah, because that was the one place I couldn't have an anti-tank. I wasn't able to get any kind of anti-tank defenses there. Oh, they also attacked here. Was this successful? I thought there was a one where they did not succeed. This one was very successful as well. They were actually able to kill almost over half my forces. Of course, attacking with the tank group, armored group does do that. Then more bombardment, some defending. They knocked out Solingen, so I wouldn't have any points there. But what else? One more attack, I thought. Nope, maybe not. Okay, so that's it. Basically, 2 significant attacks, well, two groups of significant attacks, some in this area, and then the one here. So, and down here it's just a fallback. It's a fighting retreat for them, and over here we just have trench warfare. So, okay, so now that made me think, what should I do for my reaction to this? What should my response be? Because it seems like they bombarded this group down pretty severely. But maybe I could get away with, I can move this artillery up and they can hit either of these groups. If I attack from here, I will have a small penalty because I'm attacking over a river. In fact, is it possible? I guess it would be impossible to get any other units involved, huh? Yeah, I think so. Oh, of course, because I haven't built my road yet. So let's build that bridge, and then I'll probably pull that engineer right back. There's no reason for him to move forward. All we needed him to do was to build that bridge, and then actually, I'm assuming the artillery that they're going to launch. Well, they don't have artillery in place right now, but if they bombard this hex, they'll destroy the bridge. So we'll have to rebuild it next turn. Okay, so let's move these guys in. And yeah, this is the big question. I think whichever of these two we bombard, I think we'll have the possibility of killing. So now with that bridge, we're able to attack with our mortar team either of these groups, which is pretty good. The thing is, if we attack out here, we're going to be attacked on all sides again. So I think we need to inch our way up the same way we've been doing the whole campaign. So let's do the attack here. This looks like it was pretty good. Yeah, wow. Very good. So let's get that mortar team up. I do want them to assist. The other mortar team has just wasn't ready enough to be able to push across an attack. But we can get quite a few of these others involved. Now, we don't need all these guys involved. Probably take away anybody like this who are weak. 2, 4, 3. We'll probably take away this machine gun as well because they're better at defense. This one's weak. Yeah, this is a really solid force. So we have... I think I'll leave it like this. Only a 10% bonus because these guys are fighting across a river. But this is still better than not attacking with those guys at all. Okay, so yep, let's do it. Let's go ahead and attack. Again, not amazing. Not an amazing... Okay, that is 2-1. Not terrible. Considering they were down to only 13, though, it's a bit surprising. Alright, well let's move one of our mortar teams in. So we'll have one on each side. This guy will be ready next turn anyway, but still. And... these guys both attacked. Oh, actually we should do probably a follow-up attack. Can this guy also do the follow-up attack? Ah, what a bummer, he cannot. So, you know what? I'll move this guy in, and this is where, again, I have mixed results doing these follow-up attacks. But let's try it anyway. We can get 90. Okay, I'm able to move this guy in at least, right? Whoops. He can move in. Can I get a machine gun group in? Yes, but it'll have to be one of these. In fact, these guys can, I assume, no. I mean, I don't want to leave this area extremely vulnerable. But this guy can move in. Is this... these 3 units enough of a defense? It's not ideal. Oh my gosh. Oh, you know what? We should have used these tanks. I thought for sure that I had armor available for this, but I checked this guy and it was the wrong group. We brought this armor over. Well, now we'll have to kind of conceal this, although they've already brought the anti-tank in. It's almost worth doing the attack. No, we don't have enough units to do the attack. So I think we should just push on this unit here. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's attack with all of these units, just to hopefully crush these guys. Very good. So 3 casualties, inflicted 12, just decimates them, pushes them back. And actually the good news is it is good for us to actually move in with a very defensive machine gun group, and probably our mortar team. We'll leave actually the mortar team and we'll move both of these infantry groups in, because we want this to be very well defended. Oh my gosh, their headquarters is right here. So what this is going to mean is their counterattack will come here. It's obvious, right? They'll probably attack with 3 sides. Okay, how good is an anti-tank gun? It's 1800. How good is my armor? I'm still considering doing this attack. It's 3 on 3, which is not good. Hey, artillery, we only attack with 400, which is double. And they're attacking with half of our HP. So it looks like 3 on 3 we should win. No, I just can't do it. Yeah. In fact, I can hold a little bit of armor in reserve by moving this armored car in here, which should be able to defend well. But then, in fact, keeping this guy in reserve. I'm not sure really what the best situation here is. I think that'll leave this group hidden. I think I'm going to move this Jeep here just to give me a little better reconnaissance. That's what he's there for after all. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, so we pushed in the north. We're pushing in the north now, so you can see basically nothing is going well, and this is probably why the peace talks have begun, as I'm calling them. Pushed in the south. We're doing well. And I don't know if we're actually doing well this turn. So this turn, yeah, okay, yeah, we've actually done like 2 to 1. We lost an armored car, and we've killed a light tank and 2 AT guns. That's pretty good. Okay, so we're still ahead overall. I mean, usually you do better on the attack than on the defense because, you only do attacks where you're going to be very successful and you do a lot of artillery. So when it's your turn, you usually inflict more kills than you take losses. And I think that's been the case so far. This is a pretty weak hex, though. You know what? I don't think any of these guys are needed. No, we do need them, but what we can do is we can move this guy in here. We don't need anti-tank up here, so let's just move another mortar team in. Will be a pretty juicy target, and let's get these guys both to jump over so that I can free up this guy to move over here, and that'll take the pressure off this hex a little bit. This is a pretty good group. Obviously no reason to attack into the mountains. Alright, very good. So that's that. With these guys, I think we just continue the constant barrage here. Doing attritional damage, I think, is actually effective at this point. If we can just cause... we can eliminate any kind of rifleman, even. It's just more things that they have to produce, and we want to gain an advantage on the production side of things. So aside from hexes that we're going to attack, we really should just be bombarding the crap out of everything else. Just anything that'll give us, especially if they're not in the forest or in cities, which will give us the most bang for our buck. So for example, this group, we can actually bombard... I think I'm going to use 1 to bombard here, which is already weak. Use this group and just get as many kills as we can, hopefully. Okay, so only 6 more, but that's, we're straining their production greatly. Perfect, and we'll do some bombardment here. Good, so 4 more kills. I mean, every little bit counts. And there should be a progression of kills as we continue to disorganize them with some bombardment. Although we are lessening the number of them, the number of them that are around are less in entrenchment, etc. You know, they're moving to avoid the bombardment, whatever you want to abstract that as. So we should be doing more and more damage as we continue to bombard the same units. Now, the first ones, maybe they survive because they got their little bunkers dug out, their little foxholes, but when you shell those, enough of those, they have to displace, and then they're in open ground. I don't know. I'm just imagining the situation. Okay, so that brings us to the last little bit of action, which is going to be down here. Nope, not down here, sorry, up here. I think we can attack in here, because we can get really serious artillery. We can bring some serious artillery to bear on this hex, first of all. I don't have any kind of other bonuses, right? No. Okay, good. So, yep, let's do it this way. I have a lot of anti-tank, actually, to be honest. So that was pretty effective. Now we'll continue. Okay. Significantly less effective. Did not do as much there. Only killed 5 units. I mean, we have 3 sides on them. Where do we have any guards? Our guards have all taken just a pounding. This was probably one of the best shape, but he's too far away to engage. Huh. Yeah, so we can get some fresh machine guns and stuff like that to engage here, which is better than mortars, since mortars won't be as effective in the forest, hitting the trees and all that. And it still probably makes sense for us to use maybe at least one of these submachine guns. Okay, probably 2 of them. Yeah, probably these 2. So, okay, let's see what this looks like. If we attack with armor from everywhere. This is better than... Okay, what if we don't attack with these guys? 48 redness is just atrocious. So we want a better group to attack from here. We have almost nothing. We have nothing over there. Okay, we can shift this guy north and he can still attack. That's probably the best idea. So let's shift him. He's the best at the armor, just by a smidge. So we'll get him to attack. Yep. And now we can shift this machine gun in here. Who is the best machine gun we have available? Yep. That's something. Okay, and now let's see what this looks like. 1, 2, machine gun, and armor. We're right at the limit, which means we want to throw some more people on. Let's probably throw on these 2. And I think that's good. Let's just take a look at these units here. Their AT gun is pretty damaged. They have 3 more. Oh my gosh, they just have so many though. Jeez. I mean, this could end up going very poorly for us. Yeah. And they have armor, which is just in great shape. We could always just sit on our hands one more turn. I was expecting to attack this, but we could just sit on our hands one more month, because that is a pretty solid. I mean, what's going to happen though? They're just going to bombard our forces, and the same old story. No, yeah, we probably do have to make something happen. Okay, well, you know what? This is kind of the opposite of what I was expecting to do, but I think it only makes sense for us to actually bring another bombardment. I don't know what this will accomplish, but let's just try it. Let's see if we can get anything done with this group. Maybe nothing. Yeah, maybe something, okay? So that wasn't horrible. Another 6 units killed, more entrenchment and readiness worn off, and now I think we've committed ourselves. We've really forced our own hand. The 23, the 21, machine gun, and the armor here. Okay, good. So let's just go ahead and do this now. See how it works out. Ooh, we're taking losses. Lost a tank. Okay, this is not bad, actually. So we were successful by the skin of our teeth. Just that one machine gun group that we brought in, the only one to push in. Everyone else, retreated, panicked, out of AP. Only that machine gun group, the veteran group from our middle headquarters, was able to hold the day. Now we killed 2 anti-tank guns, it looks like, and 2 tanks, and we only lost 1. So that's a very good exchange. Yeah, looking at this was very good. We lost about 40, including 1 tank. We killed about 70. So not quite 2 to 1. But this includes 2 standard light tanks and 2 AT guns. So that's really good. 2 and 2 for only loss of 1. Very good. So that should make the statistics for this turn a little more convincing. 3 to 1 and 1. So 3 to 1.5. And also 4 AT gun kills, which is great. Now we actually own this hex, which is fantastic. We probably want to cycle out these really beat up units. So I'm going to move this guy all the way back. I mean, he just needs time to recover. This is a really bad situation for him. We want to leave somebody defending here, so we'll probably pull back these guys if I can. Give them some time to heal. I don't even think I want to move this group in. There's probably better machine guns at this point. Yep. I think this one's a better one. Leave this guy here. This group is okay. Do we have any anti-tanks? I guess we'll move in the mortar team here, which could be effective at defending for now. Yikes! Yeah, this is a pretty depleted area. Okay, so we have this 32. That's decent enough. And we can move in both of these armor, who actually haven't attacked this turn. If we had played our cards a little smarter, we might even have been able to do a follow-up attack on this group. But this is so... Holy cow, they have 3... they have 3 artillery groups and the headquarters in here. Another artillery there. Yeah, okay, so we wouldn't want to get too close with our artillery in the open area, because we would just be completely decimated by their artillery. Yeah, okay. Well, we've pushed onto the line. This is a good defensive line that we've got now. This is exactly the defensive line they were going to hold, right? Was this forest, city, forest, and then we have the forest down here. But this is kind of the area we're advancing. We're not planning on holding a line. But so as soon as we can kick them out of the forested area north of Solingen entirely, we can just hold that line and constantly do attritional damage to them, knowing that Solingen, we will gradually wear, the loss of Solingen for them will gradually wear down their army. They won't be able to replace as much forces because they don't have their production base. Not only that, but we'll start gaining more political points from Solingen if they can't stay close enough to bombard it. And right now, they're already... I mean, we can suspect that the units here are going to bombard Solingen, but they're fast running out of locations, secure locations, because they'll probably have to move back from here, since I have armor in place to attack that next turn if they don't retreat. Great, so I think that's going to be everything for this turn. I'm going to have at least one more turn left, so you can look forward to that. It's kind of fun. We have them on the run, and playing a game where you finally are reaping what you've sown. You know, getting into actually being able to exploit them pretty much everywhere along the front. I understand why it might not be as fun for him, for the enemy, but it certainly is a lot of fun for me. This is finally like the time where we're just starting to be able to push forward at will. Anyways, thanks for watching this episode. I'll make my changes, any kind of moving around of depleted forces or anything else that I need to do. We'll certainly move in here, but I haven't exactly figured out where I want the line or with who. So I'll just do that off camera. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.